That's okay. Hi, everybody. I will call this meeting to order at 4 p.m. Nicole, roll call, please.
Councilmember White,
Here.
Chair Schnorr,
Here.
Vice Chair Bennett. Member Guerna stated she would be absent this evening, along with Member Plone stated she would be absent this evening. Youth Council Member Valero, Community Services Director Doug Story,
Here.
Alternate Member Salcedo, and Alternate Member Valdivia.
Thank you. I'd like to stand now for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, adjustments to the agenda. Do we have anything, Nicole? No. Conflict of interest disclosures, anything with that? Anyone? Okay, moving on to item B. This meeting will be open to the public and conducted in a virtual format to be inclusive of all participation preferences. Public comment participation is encouraged by emailing any comments to the city clerk's office or by calling in using the phone number provided on the front of the agenda. Do we have any public comments for items not on the agenda?
I have no written requests. Mia, do we have any callers on the line?
No callers.
Okay, moving forward to item C. C1 is reorganization of committee. Are there any requests from the, well, I guess you go first, Nicole, on that?
Sure, I can just give a quick introduction. So annually, there's an opportunity for the committee to reorganize, to choose a new chair and a new vice chair. So this item is being presented to allow for the committee to do so.
Okay.
Do we have a quorum?
We do have a quorum, yes.
We do, okay.
So I can ask for a nomination for chair or ask for a motion. Eric, did you want to make a motion?
So, I don't know how we do that, but can we make a motion just to move it to the next agenda? That way we give the two that are
Yes.
missing
If
an
that's-
opportunity, just in case, if they want.
If that's what
that,
the
or-
committee decides.
So, Councilman Wright, Lloyd, White, did you want to say anything?
I'm just worried that the next meeting we're in the same boat, you know. I nominate you, Eric, for chair. Is there a second? The problem is we don't have another member here other than you
Right,
to fill the other position,
right.
so maybe we should wait.
I don't mind staying on his chair. That's not
I second
an
that.
issue.
I second, and I'll third that,
All
so.
right.
I just don't know what to do. Like Eric and I had briefly discussed what the item was about and trying to be fair to all members of the committee.
Right.
And make sure that their voices are heard too, not just ours. But is that an official motion or?
Sure. I move that we keep the same chair and Eric becomes our vice chair.
I'll second that.
Okay, so not bring the item back, but just to keep
Yeah.
as is? Okay.
Perfect.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, any noes? Okay, so motion carries. Approval of minutes. I'm asking for a motion to approve the minutes for our last meeting.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any noes? Okay, motion carries. Item C3, Palmer Park and Nicholas Park project updates. Our staff member, Doug Story, is going to give us a report on the status of these two parks.
Yes, so happy to give you an update about what's happening with Nicholas Park and Palmer Park. At our last discussion, we brought forth some concept plans. As you know, last year in the late spring, we entered into a contract with a landscape architect firm for them to start designing concept plans and then ultimately the construction design plans for upgrades at Palmer Park and Nicholas Park. Most of the summer and into the fall was spent doing some of the outreach. They did a great job. We did a bunch of pop-ups in the park. We did surveys, met with some community members, and talked about some of the issues that we're having at the park. So one of the main things that we wanted to address in this at Nicholas Park was the condition of the current dog park at Nicholas, and so this plan allows us to relocate the dog park that's existing at Nicholas Park up to Palmer Park. We showed those concept plans last meeting in late October to show you what that would look like. And then also there is the issue at Nicholas Park of a significant amount of underutilized space at that park. And one of the things that we really wanted to do was to address some of the needs that we have in our community for additional lighted fields, additional practice areas for teams, and then also really update and improve that park to use that space in its best way. So we brought those concept plans to our committee in October, and with some feedback, and took some suggestions from our committee, brought that back to our design team, and then we set them on the journey to begin the construction design document phase. And so we just received the 30% plans, and so with the 30% plans, you really are starting to begin the process of the first steps of what it's going to entail to pull off the project. A lot of it begins the coordination with utilities, and the 30% plans are usually the set of plans that you begin to send to those utility organizations. So Beaumont Cherry Valley Water District, all of our internal departments, Public Works, and different departments that we have, and it gives everybody their first chance to begin to speak into those plans so that you don't come to them at 100% and then they say, oh wait, we have a 12-foot storm drain that runs through there that you need to relocate, or something that comes up at the last second. So this is the beginning of that process. We just received those 30% plans, and they're starting to be distributed to those different entities, and then also in-house to our different departments, where we'll receive some comments on those. They'll come from our building department, our public works department, and our planning department. Fire and public safety are also going to take a look at things and begin to address some of those issues. That process internally for us is probably going to be about 6 weeks is what we're anticipating, 6 to 8 weeks. And so we'll receive those comments and send them back as they come. With that, we also received cost estimates. And this was a great opportunity for us to start to see what the initial costs may be. And this allows us to do several things. It allows us to forecast for the future, and then also begin to plan and come to council with some opportunities and some ideas for future funding. Currently in our project, we have just over $3.9 million total for this project. What we knew was that was obviously not going to cover the entire thing, and so as we designed this project, we knew we were going to do a phased approach. So in the cost estimates, you'll see 3 different cost estimates. One cost estimate is going to be for Palmer Park. The second cost estimate is for Nicholas Park Phase 1, and then a third cost estimate, which is Nicholas Park Phase 2. And so we tried to come up with a plan that allowed us to systematically divide that Nicholas Park project into 2 segments, something that would make sense. There's certain things that have to be done first and initially to get that park up to where we want it, and then also take care of the things at Palmer Park initially. So those were those 3 cost estimates. And they come in at various levels. I think I put a little chart in here too in the staff report. So Palmer Park improvements roughly between 3.5 and 4.2 million. The Nicholas Park Phase 1 between 4.8 and 6.6, and then Nicholas Park Phase 2 between 4.2 and 5 million. So a couple of things to notice if as you deal with some of these plans and these larger capital improvement projects, you'll notice in the budgeting there's a couple of things. One of them is the contingency. So there's a contingency amount. It's a little high right now. It's at 15% in the 30% plans, and so we would anticipate that some of those unknowns. There's certain things that we just don't know what the response will be back from Edison. We don't know what the response will be back from water and stormwater and different things. And so there might be something that maybe we're not aware of that they might want us to take care of. And so that allows for a little bit of flexibility in that. Also, we've been working with our design firm, and they have a lot of experience working with manufacturers and suppliers. There's also a line item in our quotes that talks about just market instability, just as political climates and different things change, and there might be an adjustment period where things like steel or certain materials, construction materials, might move around a little bit as things begin to settle for whatever the next kind of political cycle will look like. There's a little bit of a line in there. So there's two items in the cost estimate that I think will definitely come down as we get closer to actually going out to bid for this project. So we still have the 60% plans, and then the 90%, and then ultimately the 100% plans. That's what would go into the bid document. So we still have several steps until we get closer. So these are a little bit inflated, these estimates right now, but helps us get at least in the ballpark so we know what we need to do for funding. So our next steps as a department and working on this project is to begin to address some of the budgeting and come to council eventually with some plans and options on ways that we might be able to put some more funding into these projects and look for opportunities for partnerships, opportunities for grants, and those types of things to kind of begin to close that gap as we go through the process. So lots of attachments and things for you to look through if you had the opportunity in this staff report. But if you have any questions about Nicholas Park or about Palmer Park or about the cost estimates, I'd love to do my best to answer them for you right now.
Okay. Anybody have a comment for questions for Doug? No? Any, Councilman, do you have any questions?
No, I'm good.
That area is fairly new for utilities, right? So
Yeah.
they shouldn't find. That area is fairly new.
Yes.
You know, they shouldn't find too much stuff there,
No.
right?
Correct. And so, yeah, for anyone that's listening or might not be aware, these two parks are located in our Fairway Canyon community. And so, yeah, so these are definitely some of our newer parks that, newer and relatively speaking, yeah.
Well, Palmer's the oldest in that group.
Palmer's
and
the
then
oldest in the newer.
Nicholas is about
Palmer's in the
five
new-
years?
Yeah.
I think
Nicholas is
about-
just almost at 7 years old. And Palmer was one of the first ones in there, so it's probably closer to 15 years.
Nicole, I'm supposed to ask if we have any requests from the public to speak.
I have no written requests. Mia, do we have any callers on the line?
No callers.
Thank you. Yes.
I know at the last meeting, we discussed the pickleball courts and the pop-ups, how the people were extremely negative about having them there, according to the pop-up. And the people that I talked to, excuse me, have said, don't, why say anything, because the city just does whatever they want, which is a total negative on the city.
Mm-hmm, sure.
And I just wanted to know, are we still going forward with the pickleball courts, even though
Yeah.
it was a negative responses
Sure.
out there? Because it's just,
Sure.
I mean, it's hard for me to sit here and go back to
Understandable.
people and tell them, well, you know what, you're right.
Yeah.
The city does whatever they want
Right.
to do, and they don't care
Sure.
about what the people say.
And
That's
I
why we
think-
had pop-ups.
Right. Yeah. And so one of the things that we are taking into consideration for the design of this park is some of the feedback and some of the surveying and some of the information that's coming in from citywide for our whole entire park system. In our next item, I'll talk to you a little bit about the Parks Master Plan as we wrap that up, and I'm going to be bringing that here in April. But we've been going through that process for the last 16 months, and one of the things that is coming out in that process when we look at items and amenities and facilities and things that we don't have citywide, we are seeing that there are some holes, there are some different things that, or needs that aren't being met. One of the reports that our consultants will provide in the Parks Master Plan is called a gaps analysis. And in this gaps analysis, it basically takes a particular amenity and it shows you where throughout the city we have it and how far a resident needs to travel or go in order to get to that amenity. And it's a really great way and tool for us to create long-term plans to say, as we look systematically at the entire city, and we look at all 55,000 residents, what are some of their needs? What are some of the things that are coming up? So in doing that process, pickleball continues to come up, and it continues to be a significant need and a significantly important part of the community. If you talk to Ashley and her team at the rec center, we have 4 indoor pickleball courts and 1 outdoor pickleball court. Today was our open gym, and all 4 were completely full with lines waiting and sign-up sheets and everything for people to get onto the courts to play. So we're continuing to see more and more people getting into this sport and this amenity. And so we want to address that in the best way that we can. When we go to certain pop-ups, right, one of the things that popped up in this, you'll have segments of the community that are super vocal about certain things. So one of the things that we saw there at the pop-ups that we didn't really plan on or account for was a pump track. And I attribute that to one of the days that we went to the Palmer Park pop-up. And we had a group of probably like 7 or 8 boys that showed up on bikes and were probably driving through the neighborhood and stopped by to see what we were doing and got popsicles and other fun stuff. And then they found out what we were voting on. And every single one of those kids were passionately voting on, oh, absolutely, this is something we must have here, right? And so when you look at the data that came in from that particular pop-up, you would think that a bus full of 87 people came to our pop-up and were just absolutely passionate about it. And sometimes when we have these individual pop-ups, we see these things. You're right. When we did the Nicholas Park one, it wasn't super high. When we did the Nicholas Park pop-up about the pickleball, it wasn't super duper high. However, when we take a step back and we look at the entire system, that's where we start to say, where can we address these needs? We know we want to add more to our city. Where can we put these? Pickleball courts are one of those things where I can't just throw them anywhere. They have to obviously go in a park. And so as we have the opportunity here to improve a park significantly, we want to address one of these community-wide opportunities that we have. So we still do it. It's not that we don't take into consideration, like, oh, heck, it didn't score super duper high on that one pop-up. However, when we look at the amenities and some of the stuff that comes up on our citywide surveys, it comes up significantly higher, and number 1 or number 2 behind restrooms and shade facilities and then pickleball courts. And so we keep seeing it pop up over and over again, and it's something that we know we want to address. And so our goal with the Nicholas Park too is, in some situations, we have parks that just don't have the acreage. You know, they're just, maybe it's a 2-acre park or something, which is great and wonderful, and we do all that we can in those small spaces. Nicholas Park is one of those unique opportunities that give us an opportunity to really invest in what I call more of a community type park that attracts people from the entire community. Whereas Palmer Park, I would categorize that as a neighborhood park, right? And that's really designed for people in that particular neighborhood. Nicholas, we're trying to bring in a much wider draw, which is why we're putting the practice fields, the lighted fields, having different amenities there that's going to draw people from all areas of our community to that particular park. So it's not that we don't listen. It's not that we take it away and say, oh, it's not something that, you know, we aren't listening to what the people that are saying. We're taking into consideration not just that pop-up, but the hundreds and thousands of surveys that we received through the Parks Master Plan process and addressing those concerns as well. So tell them we're listening. Tell them to come back to our April meeting when I bring the final draft to our committee. So you all will end up being the first ones to take a look at that, and that's going to explain a lot of great things.
Oh, hey. There's a
Well,
stat
that was
up
cool.
here.
I didn't
like
put that on there.
that.
I don't know who's doing it.
I know, I like that too. If I could say something.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, thank you.
So, in our IT booth, thanks.
One thing I noticed, because I did the pop-ups too, and as a resident, I'm looking at the variety of opportunities of things to do and the trends. And pickleball is a trend. And there's always going to be a trend that somebody doesn't care for. However, it's a real trend, and it's not diminishing. It's not fading out the way that some things do. So those statistics are very interesting because they're forecasting a 7, almost 8% growth rate through the next 4 years in that. So my thought is if we don't have facilities in a balance in our park system, then everybody's going to the rec center all the time and waiting in line like we're at Disneyland to get access to a sport, right? And most people don't like to do that, so they stop. We have a small pickleball court there now in Nicholas Park, and it's used. It's used, but I think, and I know I've mentioned this, I think, at our last meeting, in Redlands, they have a very large pickleball court area that people fight over all day long, and it's an open public one. It's not inside. And so I think when I'm looking at that growth pattern there in Redlands, and we're not that far away, I myself think a pickleball system would be very dynamic and serve the needs of a wide range of people in our community. So I do understand that there are people that are going to question why, but maybe they should try playing. And because I'm kind of looking forward to that. I don't want to, for me, my impediment is always I don't want to get in my car and waste my fossil fuels and drive all the way across town to play a sport. So I try to do things that are more local to what's close to us. So I'm excited to see what's coming in the whole plan, and I look forward to that. So does anybody else have any comments that they would like to make?
I just have one comment, and it's not whether or not we need pickleball courts there. It's we have to do this park right because we did it wrong before, and so we're getting a second chance to do it right. And I understand that Tournament Hills is predominantly in that area, but now we also have Olivewood, and so I think. If a regional park that size, I think if it makes sense to the neighborhoods, that's where we should rely on it. And I agree with you that pickleball seems to be a big sport, but I don't know. There's how many courts there? 6, 8. But I just wanted to put that thought out there: is that we really need to know what the people in Tournament Hills. I understand the argument about the system needs to have more pickleball courts. I just wonder if that park needs to bear that big of a percentage of pickleball courts. That's my comments.
Okay. At this time, I'm going to ask for a motion to accept the staff report on Nicholas and Palmer Park.
I'll make a motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any noes? Motion carries. We'll move on to item C4, which is Parks and Community Services Master Plan Update. Staff report from Doug Story.
Yeah, so I kind of ruined the suspense and gave you a little bit of preview, but we are coming to the end of this process, and it has been a process. I've been very excited with working with RHA and Next Best Practices, Inc., and going through the process for our community. Very pleased with the amount of community feedback and just the emphasis on hearing from other people, not just me and my staff, but also at the same time, just their attention to our staff, and they've done some fun things. Just this last month, we had two opportunities for our staff to come together. One to review the survey results, and the second time to come together and come up with a vision and mission statement for our department and begin to talk about some of the things of why we do what we do. And it's been some great feedback. And so the whole process has been a great thing for us. It is beginning to wrap up, and I'm also very excited for that part to be done. We will be working to wrap things up and then bring it to the next Parks and Rec Committee meeting, which is on April 28th, in just a few months. And then from there, we will bring it to council for everything. So it has been a great process. I listed some of the things that are done, facility assessments and park assessments and amenity assessments and recreation program assessments. It feels like we've been filling out spreadsheets and surveys for quite some time, but it's been a great thing. So I'm excited to start seeing some of the reports that are coming in. They're giving it to us chapter by chapter right now, and we're able to review it. So I am happy to have that with you all. I imagine it'll probably be maybe my only thing that I bring to you next week at the committee, because I'll probably also bring in our consultants. They'll do some presentation to you as well, and spend as much time as we can talking about it. So, but all that to say, it's coming, and we'll be happy to have this checked off once it's done. I've said this before since the beginning. These types of documents really create these futuristic plans and these 10-year goals that we can have as a department. And so when our department or our city is lucky enough to receive grant money or earmark funding from electeds or whatever it may be, now it's not, hey, we have this money, could you use it? Now we actually have a plan and a document to say, absolutely, here's what the next steps would be. And that is, that takes a lot of pressure off of staff, a lot of guesswork out of the equation, and it really just puts us on a path towards where we want to be in the next 10 years as our city continues to grow. So very exciting time. Look forward to that. Don't miss, talk to our friends, Diane and Annie, to make sure that they're here, because they're not going to want to miss it.
Do we have any requests from the public to speak?
I have no written requests. Mia, do we have any callers on the line?
No callers.
Any discussion from our committee about the report on the master plan?
I just want to say thanks to your group, Doug, and then thanks to City Council for making parks and that stuff a priority.
I second that too. Councilman, do you have any comments?
No.
No? Okay. I would like to say that I've been following the master plan from the first time I saw it in your office, when I was there for no particular reason except to talk about the dog park. And I was very excited to see the master plan. I too am looking forward to the culminating event so that we can actually celebrate that it's been done and there's a pathway
We will
forward.
celebrate. We are celebrating after
Yeah.
this process is
Pathway,
over, because it
yeah.
has been a long process.
I like the pathway forward on that because it does give planning opportunities and it does give you the ability to actually see the wider spectrum of the park system for sure.
Sure.
What's where and what isn't where.
Yeah.
So you're not looking for things that aren't there, but you're also able to access things that are. So I'm very excited about that. I also think that it's a very good tool to use going forward when you're talking about redesigning parks because inevitably parks get redone. They don't stay exactly the same from beginning to end because they change with the needs of the community as it expands or contracts, whatever the case may be. So I'm very excited to see what's coming in that master plan and the work that's already been done. I'm really wanting to know what the survey results are. I'm really dying. But I know you can't preview that, so I won't ask. But I'm very excited about the amount of work that's gone into it because I know that it's incorporated all three of the majors in the Parks and Rec Department and really taken into account the things that each of you are responsible for. So Kevin, for sure, I hope they heard you on maintenance. I'm sure they did. And Ashley, the programming, I know, it's always evolving, and so I'm really grateful for that. So at this time, I'm going to ask for a motion to accept the staff report from Doug Story. I can make that motion. I
Sure,
guess.
I'll move to receive and file the report.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, thank you. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any noes? Motion carries. Okay, looks like our last big item is C5, the Stewart Park update. Mr. Story, would you like to give us that
Yes,
update?
I will. As we continue to do a lot of fun work over at Stewart Park, if you've driven by, you begin to see that demo is complete. Most of the major grading is complete. They're starting to put different pieces of infrastructure in. We've reshaped the retention basin and we've moved outlets. So there's a lot of storm water and storm drain stuff that we've put into the park. a lot of great work underground, and I am happy that we're starting to move to the part where it's going to be above ground and people are going to start seeing things. And so I think that's one of the hard parts of doing projects is there's a lot of money and time and energy that's spent underground sometimes. And so we're getting to the point where light poles are starting to go up. All the footings are in for the light poles. You're going to start seeing the forms go in for the sidewalks. So you'll start to see the walking paths and the sidewalks throughout the entire park. Playground has been ordered, and they're starting to work on that. We're working on getting everything finalized and submitted for the splash pad and the splash area, which is going to be absolutely incredible. So it's really fun to see all these things coming in together. I put a couple of the accomplishments and items that have been completed in our list. While all that fun stuff is happening on site, back here at City Hall, in conjunction with our finance team, we are working to get all the paperwork and everything in for the federal grant that we received from the National Park Service, which was the Outdoor Recreation Legacy Partnership. That grant, which is going to provide $3.1 million for us. And so this is a federal grant, and federal grants take lots of extra work. So we are working with our partners at the state up in Sacramento and then also in DC to complete that process. We're roughly about 50% done with that pre-award process, meeting all the federal requirements. We are working through all the 106, Section 106 stuff, which is the cultural and national environmental protection stuff, and so we've been contacting different Native American tribes and checking all those boxes for this process, and then we are working through the NEPA and the CEQA process. Got everything in line for that, so everything has been submitted, and now it's just working its way through Sacramento, and then it gets sent over to DC. So things still look really good for us, and we're anticipating finishing that probably in the summer is when I'm hoping that we'll get the final contract and be able to start drawing money on phase 2. So that grant helps us finish the phase 2 portion of the park. And so everything seems to be going really well. If you remember when we first signed the contract was about 345-day working project. So just under a year. And so we started that in July. I think the end goal is to be wrapped up in June. I do believe we're close. No significant giant delays at this time. And so we're going to keep working through that and keep pushing our contractor. They've been doing a great job. To manage a little bit of rain this last weekend, they did a good job keeping water where it was supposed to be. So impressed. Yeah, but no, everything is going really well for Stewart Park, and I will include some photo updates for y'all. We flew some drones, and we had Kevin flew our drone, flew his drone actually, and then took a bunch of great photos. But then it started to get really windy, and the drone landed up by itself, and someone ran it over on Magnolia Avenue. So we weren't able to capture all the videos. He was shooting a video and some photos for tonight's meeting, and that wasn't
That's too
doable.
bad.
But anyways, he was a good sport about it. So we'll get some good photos for y'all and share some other things.
Reimbursement,
Yeah.
Kevin.
So, but nothing else as far as those are the two major things, the grant, and then you're going to start seeing some fun stuff on the surface and some of the amenities going in and all that fun stuff. So when the weather changes and it's a little warmer, maybe we can, after a committee meeting, I'd love to walk you guys through it and take our contractor out there and kind of see things. It'll be fun after the April meeting. It'll be great. There'll be a lot of stuff done by then.
Yeah, I would like to do that.
Yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
already trying to visualize what the end product's going
It's-
to be, so.
It's fantastic.
Excellent. Nicole, do we have any requests from the public to speak on Stewart Park?
I have no written requests. Mia, do we have any callers on the line?
No callers.
Thank you. Committee, do we have any discussion on Stewart Park? I would like to, no? No? Okay, I'm going to ask for a motion to accept the staff report on Stewart Park update. I'll make that motion. Any
I'll
second?
second.
Sorry.
I'll second.
Eric, second. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye. Any noes? Motion carries. So we'll receive and file that update. Goals and objectives.
I don't think I have anything for that part.
Anything from anyone here? staff comments? I think that's you guys.
Yeah, that's us. I'm going to turn it over to Kevin and Ashley. 2024 was a great year for our department, and I wanted to give them just a couple of moments to share some of their highlights from the year. Not only was it a year that we were able to have this committee operating and doing some great things, which I think is a huge win for us, but just a lot of other great stuff that sometimes you forget we actually did. And so I'm going to turn it over to both of them. Go ahead, you're first.
Well, good evening. So first of all, I just want to say, I hope you guys had a good holiday. This is the part where like I get to say how proud I am of some of the guys. One of the things when I talked to Doug about putting the video together and kind of highlighting some of the 24, highlights, is looking back is always, sometimes we always look forward, but we don't tend to look back at some of our accomplishments. But one of the things that I love is actually team building. And so what I'd asked is, I don't know if those guys want to stand up or come forward. I want to introduce the guys that are boots on the ground that make everything happen.
Come on, don't be shy.
Just stand
Get
up,
up
stand
here.
up, yeah. I want to introduce these guys. Part of our team is, just teamwork, right? And these are the guys that are out there just kind of getting everything done. And so this is just 3 of the 5 leads and supervisors that we have. And so I'm extremely proud whenever I sit here. It's not me doing the work, it's them. They're out there day to day, kicking butt, taking names, and just getting it done. And so literally getting things done, making the city safe, making sure the infrastructure is taken care of. And so I just want to start with Shane. Shane, he's in there in the middle. Shane Scheike, he does our right-of-way crew. He maintains 26 plus lineal miles of right-of-way space at citywide. That includes all the center medians. He has a crew of about 8 guys, and he just takes the equipment every morning, takes out, gets his guys, orchestrates them, and goes out and just makes the city look beautiful.
So
He
now I
takes
know
care
who
of
to
all
call.
the eye candy. He takes care of all the things, that you see day in and day out, and just does a great job. And I will add this in, he's getting ready to be a dad here really soon. So congratulations, Shane. I don't know, how many months? 5, yeah, okay, well, awesome. Well, then we got Gilbert Fierro. He does, what we've done is we've taken the parks and we split them down Beaumont Avenue. And literally one lead does one side and one lead does the west side, one lead does the outside. And they do probably about 6, 7 parks apiece. And so Gilberto has our east side. So he maintains DeForge, Mountain View, Wildflower, all the parks on the east side. And he takes his crew and he does a lot of the aerating, fertilizing, making the grass looks great. If you've been by Rangel, I mean, everything else is going dormant, but that grass in that park is so green.
Love it.
I drive by there and I'm extremely, and our goal is to raise that quality to be able to have every park be that way. And so, extremely proud. And then Ishmael, he's our supervisor for all the leads. He just kind of gives the direction to these guys. He's the one that going out giving direction. He's my right-hand guy. He's the guy I go to, says, hey, can we get this done? And he never says no. He always says, I can get it done. And so I have a comment on the back of my door in my office. I think Ashley and Heather put up, it says, I can get it done in 2 days. It's all contributed to these guys because I just love these guys. And then we're missing 2. We got Mark, who does the west side of town. He does the parks on the west side of town. He wasn't able to be here tonight. And then also Ralph. He does our building maintenance and all our custodial. So what that entails is that, 10 facilities within the city. Sometimes we get, we just think about City Hall, but we have PD, Peace Annex, PD Annex, wastewater, VFW. There's tons of facilities, and not just maintenance, but preventative maintenance. So I just want to say I appreciate these guys. I appreciate what they do. They're just like an extended family to me. And I'm not saying anything I wouldn't tell them day in and day out. It's not about me. It's about we. It really is, and it's a community of them getting stuff done. So thank you. Thank you.
I'd like to say thank you for being here today. That's actually amazing, and I do notice all the work you guys do, because I'm out there a lot, and I do see it, so I know how hard that work is. So I personally appreciate it, and I know I hope I speak for everyone here, I know I do, that I don't take for granted that hard work. When it's cold or hot, and it's extreme weather, I'm out there in my yard doing my stuff going, I don't know how you guys do all that all day long. So I for one, appreciate it, because I think our city and our parks are really looking fantastic. So thank you,
So
Kevin.
one of the things that
Thank
we,
you.
wanted to show you is just a bird's eye view, just a kind of a narrow, like, as far as what we do within the city in the last 20, I think I gotta put space on that.
Good morning. It looks like another beautiful day in Richmond. The sun is shining and the birds are singing. So make sure you get out there today and say hi to your neighbor.
May you have auspiciousness and causes of success. May you have the confidence to always do your best. May it take no effort in your being generous, sharing what you can, nothing more, nothing less. May you know the meaning of the word happiness. May you always lead from the beating in your chest. May you be treated like an esteemed guest. May you get to rest, may you catch your breath. May the best of your todays be the worst of your tomorrows. Whoa! May the road less paved be the road that you follow. Oh, well, here's to the hearts that you gonna break. Here's to the lives that you gonna change. Here's to the infinite possible ways to love you. I want you to have it. Here's to the good times we gonna have. You don't need money, you got free pass. Here's to the fact that I'd be sad without you. I want you to have it all. Slap bracelet. May you keep the chaos and the clutter off your desk. May you have unquestionable health and less stress. Having no possessions though immeasurable wealth. May you get a gold star on your next test. May your educated guesses always be correct. And may you win prizes shining like diamonds. May you really own it each moment to the next. May the best of your todays be the worst of your tomorrows. Whoa! May the road less paved be the road that you follow. Oh, well, here's to the hearts that you gonna break. Here's to the lives that you gonna change. Here's to the infinite possible ways to love you. I want you to have it. Here's to the good times we gonna have. You don't need money, you got free pass. Here's to the fact that I'd be sad without you. I want you to have it all. If you believe it, then anything can happen. Go, 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 raise your glasses. Go, 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 you can have it all. Well, here's to the hearts that you gonna break. Here's to the lives that you gonna change. Here's to the infinite possible ways to love you. I want you to have it. Here's to the good times we gonna have. You don't free pass. Here's to the fact that I'd be sad without you. I want you to have it all. 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 Oh, I want you to have it all. All you can imagine. Oh, no matter what your path is, if you believe it, then anything can happen. Go, 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 raise your glasses. Go, 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 you can have it all. I told you, here's to the hearts that you gonna break. Here's to the lives that you gonna change. Here's to the infinite possible ways to love you. I want you to have it. Here's to the good times we gonna have. You don't need money, you got free pass. Here's to the fact that I'd be sad without you. I want you to have it all. Here's to you always making me laugh. Here's to the fact that I'd be sad without you. I want you to have it all.
Just a small glimpse of all the cool things that our guys do. And I will echo everything that Kevin says. We have literally the most amazing team of guys who are dedicated. Many of them are Beaumont residents, which is so cool for them to be able to share with family and friends as they drive around. Like, yep, this is stuff that we make look beautiful. So just a couple of things. So that's one half of our department. The other half is the recreation side. And so I want to invite
Can I say
Ashley.
something real quick?
Oh, yeah,
on-
go for
on-
it, please.
On Gilbert and Shane and the guys. I worked hand in hand with him, and Gilbert, he, like, with the grass at Wrangell Park, so I could speak for Wrangell Park, out of all the parks that we played all over the nation, we played in Wisconsin or whatever, and out of all the parks that we played in this year, Wrangell Park was the best one, and it's because of your team. And hands down, I'm not just saying it because it has our name on it or anything, but hands down, it was the nicest park we played in. And I got more compliments, and my dad gets mad because we had gophers and all that stuff, and now he sees it like, because he's retired, and now he sees it the way it is. He gets mad at me because we get to benefit from it, but it's because of what your team has done out there, and it's a beautiful park. So I just want to say thank you guys too.
Thanks, David. Appreciate it. Go ahead,
Being a retired highway maintenance worker, I understand how you guys have to work out with traffic, and you guys really are the heart of Beaumont. You guys are out there ones making it beautiful to be out there, making it safe for the public to be driving on. And please go back to your employees and advise them that they are the reason why Beaumont is such a great place to live.
Beautifully said, by the way, because that's true. So honestly, I'm actually going to cry over that video.
You did a great job.
It's pretty emotional.
Kevin did that video himself.
Thank you.
And he did a fantastic job. So
It's
thank
just
you.
a lot of work. It's a lot of work, and your life is at
Yeah.
risk every day when you're out there. But
You forget how much you accomplish in 365 days, and then you realize, like, wow, we do a lot. So proud of our
you
guys.
guys are going to put that on the website, right?
I told Julie that this morning, that we've got something fun to post, so we will.
Well, that's a tough act to follow. Kevin's gonna be in charge of making my videos from now on as well. Thank you, Kevin. So I'd like to invite up two of my team members that are here tonight. If you'd like to come up to the front.
Come on.
Yeah. They would love to come up to
Come
the
on.
front.
Don't be shy.
So we have two ends of the spectrum here. We have Mr. Austin Sudak, who has been with us nearly 3 months. And then we have Heather Harwood, who's been with us for 23 years. So they're my fabulous team. There's my 2 full-time employees. And then in addition to Austin and Heather, we have 13 part-time rec specialists. One of them, who you hear her voice tonight, she runs the phones. That's Mia. So Austin is in charge of our programming. It'll be our aquatics, any of the programs run out of the CRC. And then Heather is our events extraordinaire, who puts on more than 24 events for our city. So thank you. Yes, sir.
Thank you
Unless
for
you'd like to speak.
everything.
I know Heather likes to speak. So we have a little highlight, not nearly as great as Kevin's video, but we have a review of some of the new events that we had just last year. So we started the year with our tween teen Easter egg hunt. We moved it indoors due to weather, but it was still a very successful event. We had over 4,000 eggs hidden in the gym, so it's very well attended. This year, we're going to be upping that amount to 8,000 eggs, and it will be hopefully at the sports park. I know Doug touched on this. We had our Parks Master Plan meeting where we highlighted some of our park projects, and then obviously we had the citywide survey and our online survey as well. We had our first session of our Tiny Tots program. So we had a graduation ceremony in May for those who were with us for the entire year, which is usually around about 12 students in the class from ages 3 to 5. We had 3 parade cleanups for the Cherry Festival Parade, Veterans Day, and our Holiday Light Parade. And 2 Make a Difference days, where we invited the community to volunteer and come out to our parks to plant trees and do general maintenance around the parks. Here is from our Palmer and Nicholas Park pop-up. See all the little happy faces. Everyone's very pleased with the amenities we're proposing. We celebrated the groundbreaking of our Memorial Plaza. And then in the summer in June, we kick off our pop-up in the parks sessions. We partner with the library and we go and travel around all the parks throughout the city. We also expanded our movies in the park from 2 a year to a month-long series where we do them on Wednesdays. That's right, Heather, Wednesdays? Wednesdays in June. And we launched our Beaumont Nights with 7 weeks down in Beaumont Town Center area where we had concerts, over 100 vendors each week, and a kids zone each week. And on 4th of July, we had our first ever drone show. And this had nearly 24 custom animations for our city. And then also in July, we did a ribbon cutting for 4 of our park projects, which are Star Carlton, DeForge, Mountain View, and Sunny Hills. And we followed up that celebration with a foam party at DeForge Park. July, we did our groundbreaking for Stewart Park. And we also launched our Learn to Swim program in partnership with the Beaumont High School pool. And our wonderful team taught over 135 students how to swim that summer. And we're excited to announce we are continuing that program. So we estimate serving 440 students this summer. And we're also working in partnership with the County of Riverside to do a scholarship program that we can provide scholarships for up to 150 of those students for no-cost swim lessons. In August, we had our very first volleyball league. So this is for ages 11 to 13. So we had 3 teams, and we're going to be expanding that as well. So that'll be starting in April, Austin? April for a volleyball league for all ages. And then we move on to our fall events. Our new event was our Lucha Libre that we had for our Hispanic Heritage Month. So you can see our wrestlers out in front of City Hall. Or not City Hall, the CRC. And then that evening concluded with a band, All the Vibes Band. And then we had our first ever Day of the Dead ceremony. We had 1 mariachi band and 3 dance performances. One of the highlights was our memory garden. So we invited the public to write the names of their loved ones on monarch butterflies, and we hung them from the ceiling. So we've actually saved everyone that submitted a name this year, and we're going to continue to grow that memory garden year after year as we continue this event. And our Veterans Day Parade kicked off with a skydiver this year and concluded with a ribbon cutting for the Memorial Plaza. And then our Blizzard Bash moved to Beaumont Town Center. So we had performances, an entire kids zone in the Citibank parking lot, and concluded with our annual Holiday Light Parade. And then we wrapped up the year with the return of our Holiday Lights decorating contest. So thank you all for everyone who participated and judged for that event. And those are just a few of the events we had. We also have dozens of memories that are made every day at the CRC. And we look forward to 2025. I can answer any questions you may have.
Thank you, Ashley. That was actually great. Great review. Anybody have any questions for Ashley? Councilman? No?
Just again, thank you guys for all that you guys have done for the city.
Appreciate it. Thanks to council. Thanks for letting us do what our department gets to do. So it's a great honor, and hats off to a great team. Ashley and Kevin do a fantastic job leading their teams, and I am truly grateful to have them as part of the community services team.
Any comments, questions? Okay, so, well, that was actually very impressive. 2024 just looks fabulous looking back, so I'm looking forward to what we're going to do this year. And this actually is about a year for us. I think in January we were applying for
Right. Yeah.
Parks Committee, so I can't believe it's been almost a year.
Time flies.
But I've been enjoying every second of it. So any comments from, this is a chance for us to say anything that we need to say to Parks people. So do you guys have any general comments you want to make?
Yeah, in general, it was a great year. A lot of new and cool stuff were happening, and but the next year or two are going to be more exciting with Stewart Park getting online and everything else we got coming. So I do appreciate all that you guys do, and those videos were great. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Eric, do you have any comments?
Just echo what was kind of said about the sports park or our fields. Like, when people come here now, right, there was a long gap where our fields were not up to par, so now everybody wants to come here, so.
Yes, they do.
It's nice, so.
It's a new problem. It's a
It-
different
it- it-
problem now.
It's an old problem we used to
Now
have,
it's a
and
different
now it's
problem.
back, so I'm
Yes.
glad it's back.
I am
so.
too. I am too.
I have a couple of things I'd like to say. I have truly been honored to be a part of this Parks Committee, and I never expected I was going to be the chair, so I'm just going to say that right now. I just was like, okay, I'll be on the committee. But since I'm here and I've had a chance to do this, I am looking forward to next year and what I think we're all going to do together, because it really is evident from just the last year and the stuff that was presented tonight of how much work goes into what goes on in our city. And being involved in it for me has been truly uplifting and inspirational. So I have nothing but hope for next year of being even better. Couple of things that I did before our last meeting. I noticed that the City Hall looks fantastic in the front with the addition of the revision of our park out in front, Veterans Park, right? So I really am excited. When I pulled up tonight, I was like, yes, it looks fantastic. So really happy to see that dedication to our city building. Also, the Christmas judging that we did for the light contest, I have to say that was one of the most interesting things I've done in a long time. I went to places in Beaumont I hadn't really spent any time in just because I always in a hurry, right? And I went, wow, there's a lot out here. So it was really, and just the way that people were involved, whether they had applied or not to be part of the contest, there was a lot to take in. And that was truly great, and I'll do it again next year, and if we have it, and if you'll have me. But I really enjoyed that, and just being a part of the master plan and the park development stuff has been really fulfilling for me, because I feel we're all working together, and that we do hear what our neighbors and our colleagues are saying to us about what's going on in Beaumont. And I do my best to actually be positive about it, because I do know the amount of hard work we all do, whether we're on the council and we're listening to people all the time, or whether we're us and we're not talking all the time. But I do try to get out there and see what's happening in the community. And I'm always inspired when I see people using our facilities to their advantage and to their best. So I applaud every single person who is a part of that very hard work, because we have a growing city with a lot of new demands that we didn't have before. And I think next year can be fantastic. So thank you for everything you guys do. And thank you guys for being here tonight. Truly, it's really wonderful to meet all of you and to see you. And I'll be looking for you guys in my neighborhood, okay? So I'll be out there waving. And with that, I guess we're ready to adjourn unless anybody has anything else that they want to add in? No? So we are adjourning at 4:58. I know, I can't see even with my glasses on, so. Thank you, everybody, for
Thank
being
you.
here tonight. It's fantastic.